Greetings. Well, the weather has changed since our last video. We have rain again. But other than that, I think everyone here is doing fine. I'm Hao Ming, and I teach yoga, chair yoga, and adaptive yoga at Point Defiance Ruston Senior Center. And I have with me here to demonstrate today Gil and Nancy. And behind the camera over there on the other side is Kate, the director and producer. Today we're going to be working with the Pratyahara, the practices at the very beginning that help us to let go of the chatter in our minds and focus in. And then some of the vinyasa, the movements linked together with breath that allow us to move through the different directions, the forward bends, the twists, the extensions of the body and back bending a little bit. And then we're going to be working with some props, some things that you could substitute from things in your home that add variety but help you to move the muscles in ways that it's a little bit hard to do without some kind of a prop or assistance. And so let's begin by coming to a comfortable, erect, seated position. And when I say a comfortable, erect, seated position, when we have a class, I can look out, especially with people who haven't been in the class, and see when I say comfortably erect, they get a very solid military pose. That's not what I mean. What I mean is allowing your body to be as upright and open as is possible. Letting your shoulders relax down. Let's do a couple of movements, gently rolling the shoulders and letting them drop. Rolling the shoulders and letting them drop. And then go back the other way. Roll and drop. Roll up and drop. And then let's relax the face. Open your jaw gently. And then close the jaw, but not tight. Open the jaw and close the jaw. And then leaving about a ½ inch between the top and bottom teeth, move your jaw side to side. And then roll the jaw in a circle and back the other way. Then bring everything back together and let your fingers and toes spread apart slightly. The shoulders relax down. The jaw and face relax, and close the eyes. Draw the awareness in and find the flow of the breath. Inhale, pause. Exhale, pause. Let the breath be smooth and full and even. Feel the expansion and the opening on the inhale, and the movement towards center with the exhale. And then very gently let the head be level. Let your eyes open. And let the arms drop down by the sides. And as you inhale, let one arm float up. And let the arm float down with the exhale as you turn your head away. Inhaling, let the other arm float up, head to center. Exhale, let it float down as the head turns. 2 more times on each side at your own pace. Honoring the little pauses the moments of stillness in the breath. And let that third time be the last. And bring everything back to center. And move forward on the chair, so you're encouraged to use your core muscles. And as you inhale, let both arms come forward and up. And as you exhale, gently draw the elbows back and bring down. Inhale. Let your arms reach up as far as you can without stress. Exhale, make sure the elbows stay behind the shoulder. One more time. And then push the palms out like you're shoving the walls apart and down. Good. Bring the hands together over the heart, interlocking the fingers. And as you exhale, gently press the palms out. Let your shoulder blades move apart. As you inhale, coming back in. Wrap the arms around your sides. And exhale. And inhale. And one more time. And then release. Now remember to move from the navel, not letting your eyes pull you around. So start with the exhale, and as you exhale, gently twist to your left. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale to your right. Inhale to center. Two more times. This last time, come in and stay. And as you inhale, staying in the twist, inhale and turn your head to center. Exhale, look back into the twist. Head to center on the inhale. Then look into the twist. Last time. And inhale everything back to the center. And come and twist to the other side. And 3 head turns. Looking forward on the inhale, looking into the twist on the exhale. And then everything back to center. Interlock the hands, press the palms out, and reach straight up as much as you can without stress. And avoid holding your breath as you hold the pose for a breath or two. And then sweep down. Good. Bring your feet forward a bit. And now moving once again from below the navel. As you exhale, come down over the legs as much as you comfortably can. As you inhale, coming back up. 2 more times, moving in and out. And the 4th time, coming in and staying for 2 or 3 of your breaths.
This time?
Yes, ma'am, that's that time. And when you're ready, let the inhale start. Let your back begin to lengthen, and let that lengthening of the spine lift you back up without overarching your head. And then release and roll your shoulders. Both directions. And then we'll come up to standing. Right. Find a comfortable standing position where your feet are relatively square, knees unlocked. Try not to be rigid, but be balanced. Engage the core muscles. And bring the palms of the hands together. And as you inhale, spread the fingers and come up. And as you exhale, bring the arms down like someone was handing you something. Next inhale, try to reach back and touch your wrist with your fingers as you draw your shoulders back. Then bring the palms together. Inhaling, keep the palms together, raise your elbows. As you exhale, drop the elbows. Inhale, open the chest. Bring the arms back behind you. Exhale, gently twist and wrap the arms around you. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, back to the center. And as you exhale, draw the navel in, forward bend. Inhale, sweep, coming back up, bring the palms together. And then hands float down to over the heart on your exhale. Stay for a couple of full deep breaths. And when you're ready, inhaling up the arms, back down. Lift the elbows, drop your elbows, open the chest. Gently twist to the center. And forward bend. Stay for a couple of breaths. And when you're ready, coming all the way up, palms together, and hands back onto the heart. One last time, when you're ready, reach up, coming down, draw back, palms together, Without lifting the shoulders, lift the elbows. Down. Open wide. Gentle twist. To the center. Forward bend and stay for a few breaths. And then inhale, come all the way up. And bring the hands down over the heart. And release. Good. Roll the shoulders. All right, and we're going to work with a few props. There are some styles of yoga that use props all the time, and others that only use them occasionally. The tradition that I'm most familiar with, Deskachars, and the Vinyasa tradition, uses props on occasion. But it's good to mix it up because our minds can get into ruts where we're always doing things exactly the same way, which is why I suggest once you're familiar with the things we're doing on the videos, that you just try them on your own without the video, as long as you just keep breathing and try to always follow like a forward bend with a back bend or a twist with a stretch, and you listen to your body and avoid pain, then there's really nothing that you can do to hurt yourself. So listen to your body as you're doing all these things. So you want to get something that is about the length or a little longer than your extended span of your arms. And it can be any kind of material as long as it's pliable, and you can use a belt, you can use something off your robe. Because I needed a lot of them, someone showed me that you could take fleece and cut it, and it doesn't need to have the edges finished. So go ahead and take whatever you're using. And you may want to come back to this part of the video because I didn't warn you to be prepared. So what we're going to do, especially if you have some arthritis, and we're going to be holding this for quite a while. And so what we like to do is take the strap, hold it in your hand, wrap it once around your wrist and go back into your hand, so that when you're stretching, it disperses the tension into more surfaces than just gripping. Into the hand, wrap it, back into the hand. How are we doing? Okay. So from here, just let your shoulders relax. Try not to, our instinct sometimes when we're holding something is to round the shoulders. Let them stay back, but not tense. And as you inhale, go ahead and bring it up. And exhale. Bring it down. Now for most of us, there isn't quite as much challenge as we may like. So after you see the starting point where you're coming from, go ahead and take another wrap around your hand so that you've shortened the distance, and come up and you can feel that there is some difference. Couple more times like that, just getting the up and back movement in the shoulders. Let your elbows be unlocked, but try not to have them hyper bent. Good. Now we're going to make this movement a little bit stronger. Inhale and come up, and as you exhale, try to draw the strap down behind your head. And come back up. If the shoulders are very tight or if there's any pain, come forward a bit. You can just let it touch your head. But if you can, down and behind the shoulders. Or behind the head, I mean. And then after 3 or 4 times, come down. Now, if that just was really hard, go ahead and unwrap one wrap and come up with your arms wider. In fact, even if it wasn't hard, go ahead and do that just so that you can feel the difference. And after 3 or 4 times, release and come down. And go ahead, release, and take about this much length so that your arms are your hands are slightly wider than your shoulders. You wouldn't have to fold the strap. You could do it, let the ends hang out, but I like to kind of neaten up the edges. And go ahead and bring one arm out to the side when you're ready, and the other hand over your heart. And as you inhale, just move back and forth. That's working a little bit different set of muscles. Then come back to that starting position and shorten up a bit. Just a bit. Still keep the arms straight. And bring the arm up and over and down. Up and over and down. And then go back the other way about 3 or 4 times. And then release. Good. Now, using about the same distancing, go ahead and bring the strap behind you and hold the strap so that your hands are facing forward. And as you inhale, gently lift and feel the stretch through the pectorals and back down. If you're not getting any stretch, move your hands in a bit and up and down. And after about 3 times, bring the arms up and stay for a few breaths. Then bring the arms down. And now go ahead and turn your hands so the palms are facing forward. This makes it a little more difficult. It also works a different set of the muscles. And about 3 times at your own pace, in and out. You're not trying to get them up parallel to the floor or anything like that. And about the 4th time, come in and stay for a few breaths. And when you feel even, release. Roll the shoulders. And then let's come back to sitting. All right. Go ahead and extend your leg. And bring the strap down around the ball point of the foot. And you want to draw back enough that you feel a little bit of stretch in the back of the leg. And when you exhale, you're going to keep your back relatively straight and come down. Now, one of the escape valves, one of the ways we subconsciously try to move away from the work is by bending the knee as we come forward. So keep the leg relatively straight. Make sure you're seated well on the chair, of course. The closer towards your toes the strap is on the ball point of the foot, the stronger the stretch is. Draw back enough and try to maintain that. And exhale, come down just till you're getting a good stretch. If you get pain in the back, then come up or bend your knee a little bit as you're doing this. But 3 or 4 times, move in and out. You can shorten up your grasp on the strap if it's not enough. And after you've gone 3 or 4 times, come in and stay relatively flat back. Breathe in and out. And then release and come up. Extend the other leg, draw the toes to the nose, straighten the leg, wrap the strap around, and move in and out. 3 or 4 times, then coming in and staying. If you have enough flexibility that you can reach your foot, you could go ahead and come down and just take a hold of your foot. But work up to that. If you've never done it before, don't try to jump right into any of these things. And after you've moved in and out about the same amount, come in and stay. And then release. Good. Set the strap aside. Roll your shoulders. And then we're going to do some work on self-massage again. So a tennis ball is a very useful prop to have, especially when you're doing any kind of self-massage. Now, if you have a dog, I would suggest that you, and they're used to chasing this, I'd make sure that you got one that they didn't feel possessive of. I had a cat once that loved to chase a ball, because what she'd do is she would sink her claws into it and carry it around with her. It's pretty amusing. Didn't work well for this, though. So take the ball and just rub it between your hands. And you can feel, especially if you have arthritis or some kind of joint issues, it stimulates and it loosens some of those fibers. Now you can bring the hand down onto the leg and just roll it up and down. Now, sometimes when I do a lot of yard work, I'm prone to getting cramps in these muscles and up in the triceps. And when I get those, to press a little bit harder in those areas. And what it does is you don't have to put pressure on the joints themselves by squeezing, but you can still get a good massage. And so now let's go over, bring the ball down and roll up and down. And then find areas that might be a little stiff or cramping and work some of those areas. And release. And so I think it's worth it if you don't have a tennis ball, put a call out to your friends, and I'm sure someone can spare you a tennis ball. Now for this next, I don't know how many people have plantar fasciitis, but I know it's quite common. And this great deal of soreness that's associated with it. It does things to the soles of your feet, but it also does things to your toes in reaction to some of that pain. And so a lot of times they suggest massage of the sole of the foot. And I've seen it all the way from using the wooden rollers, which are nice, but they can be kind of expensive, to using golf balls, which are a little hard and sometimes are quite painful. But also, the tennis ball is a really good way to start with this. So go ahead and let's all use our right foot. So put it on the floor and just take a moment to find the tennis ball. And it is really common for you to lose control of it and it goes shooting off to one side or the other. So play with it a little bit. When you feel like you kind of understand how you can control the tennis ball, Then roll it along the long fibers from your heel up to the toes and back, and make it a pattern where you're not moving exactly the same, but you're moving from one side to the other, kind of like big W's or V's. And after you've gone from the toes to the heel and the heel to the toes 3 or 4 times, come back and start going side to side. Now you're making like a series of Z's as you move from the toes to the heels. Try not, like I just did, try not to let it get too far ahead of you. And you're putting just enough pressure that you can feel it. And when you're fairly even, release. Bring the foot down to the floor and just take a moment to compare how the 2 feet feel compared to each other. And then let's start on the other side. Don't assume it's going to feel or act exactly the same way, because the sides of our body often have different stresses, so they develop differently. And that's one of the gifts of yoga, is it's structured in its practice to bring those sides into balance. And so moving long W's or V's or M's, side to side, 3 or 4 times. And after you feel even with moving through the long fibers, then let's go across the fibers, making these Z's. And just enough pressure that you feel it well under your foot, 3 or 4 times, side to side, traveling from top to bottom, bottom to top. And when you're even, release. Now, coming back to the first side, you probably noticed there may be little areas that have soreness. And you can feel those kind of, they're not like pressure points, they're not like acupuncture or things like that, but they are places that are holding tension. So find one of those and put the ball right under that area. And now you're not like pushing the foot down into it, but let it melt. Put enough pressure and then just sit for 3 or 4 breaths and let it melt down. Now if you're holding a lot of tension there, or if there's a lot of muscle soreness, it can really hurt, but you're not trying to push into the hurt. You're trying to just melt down around the hurt. And after 3 or 4 breaths, and you can hold this as long as you like at home, move to a second point and let it melt down. 3 or 4 breaths. And one last point. Oh, that's a good one. And melt down into it. And then and just compare, and then let's change to the other side. Find a point and stay 3 or 4 breaths melting into it. Then when you're ready, move to a second point. Stay 3 or 4 breaths, melt down. Not pushing into pain, but melting over the pain and letting it go. And then when you're ready, move to the third point. And when you're done, release. Bring both feet to the floor, compare them. And just to finish up very gently, bounce the feet. And then release. Come to a comfortable seated position. Feet firmly on the floor, shoulders relaxed and down, hands relaxed, toes and fingers spread. Close the eyes, draw the awareness in. Find the breath and say to yourself this affirmation that can be used any time to relax. It has several parts. As you inhale, think breathing in stills the mind. Exhaling, breathing out calms the body. The next time, breathe in, still mind. Breathe out, calm body. Third time, breathe in. Sit for a moment or two with this peace. And slowly let movement come into the fingers and toes. Let that movement gently spread, slowly and gently throughout the body. And then let the eyes be fully open. And thank you all for joining. We'll see you again next week.